Always good to see former double champion Martin Nguyen. Martin, great to see you. You've been on an absolute roller coaster training at Kill Cliff in Florida, now back in Sydney. Talk us through the preparation for this one.
Preparation has been well, man. I just feel blessed to be able to travel again and be able to go over to Florida and rejoin the team and upgrade the skills and get fight ready for this next bout. So everything has been well, no injuries, knock on wood, and yeah, we're going from there.
Tell us about training at Kill Cliff. We know that you train with Ongla, who's a massive one championship favorite. How much does that help elevate your game training with the killers they've got over there?
Yeah, I don't physically train with Ung, because obviously he's on the fatter end of the heavier guys. So I train with all the smaller guys, which they call us the smaller guys, so 155 and down. Man, it's been going back there was a huge shock, because I hadn't been back there for 12 months. So going back there and see how much everyone has evolved and how much I needed to catch up on. Um, was a real eye opener. And in terms of going over there and staying with Ang as well and his family, our sister, my sister Katie, his wife, and getting to see Teal and his family, be there with him, and it's a big family affair. So it they have made my life so much easier every single time I go over there. And I wouldn't be the man I am today without my wife. And the crew over there. So
Shamil Gasanov, 13-0, undefeated. Really impressive performance in his last outing against Kim Jae-won. What's your first emotion when you see his name up next for you on the contract?
what did I first think? It's obviously a tough fight, and tough fights make great fights for me. So obviously one championship sent the contract, and to no oblige, I sign it no matter what. So I always love to test myself against the best. He's on a 13 fight win streak. He's one of the best in the division. So I love to test myself no matter what and get myself straight back to the top.
So we've got number 4 against number 5 in the division. Who do you think's the favorite going into this?
Going into this, I'd say it will be him coming off a 13 fight win streak, a dominant display against a former top contender. Me coming off a roller coaster ride of 1-1 last year, coming off a loss. So I'd say him coming into this fight would be the favorite. But that's okay. That's okay with me. I don't really care about that. I just need to worry about myself when it comes to fight night.
How big are the stakes for this one? Is this all or nothing for you?
It's always been all or nothing, no matter what. But this case is a bit more stricter, a bit more serious now. And yeah, it's always been an all or nothing kind of thing now. I want to get myself back into title contention, and I'll do whatever it takes. So if Shamil Gasanov is the next opponent that I have to beat, then so be it.
So you were at Kill Cliff wrapping things up at Kai Academy and Igor MMA, right? How well does that suit you, getting a little bit of the best of both worlds, maybe?
Yeah, so I usually do this, and the fight card was meant to be in Indonesia a couple of weeks back, and I had already planned the whole American trip, and so I wasn't really going to change it, despite the date that had been changed. So I came back, and it gives me a bit more time to sharpen up my jiu-jitsu with my jiu-jitsu coach at Kai, and I got to get some decent rounds in with Josh Kulabau, who came off a very impressive win on the weekend. So at Igor MMA, so riding with those two top gyms, and coming back from hellish camp, it's been amazing.
So you mentioned feeling maybe like you're the underdog here, but you were the king of upsets for a time, and you've knocked out some of the toughest men in the world and built a career off it. So how important is that for you and your history as you go into this one?
Look, regardless of being an underdog, I've been an underdog my whole life. And life has hit me, so hard. So I don't really care when it comes to the odds and all that. When it comes to the bout, all I have to worry about is me turning up, me having the right preparation, me having everything set in place for when that bell goes and it's me versus him. I'll do whatever it takes to win.
Have you had a good chance to have a close look at him? Do you think Kim Jae-woong did something wrong, or was Shamil just very, very good on the day? What was your analysis from that bout?
Yeah, I felt that analyzing that last fight, which obviously you can't really take much from it other than Shamil doing a great job dominating that fight. I felt that Kim Jae-woong was just waiting for Shamil to do whatever Shamil does. So and yeah, obviously the ground game and the strength played a big difference in that fight as well. So yeah, I worked with a lot of Russians and strong wrestlers while I was in America, and now it's just sharpening up the jiu-jitsu side of it. So I had the wrestling down pat in America. Now I'm sharpening up my jiu-jitsu, in which I never had a problem with my jiu-jitsu anyway. So now it's just sharpening that up and keeping the hands and eyes sharp. So I go from there.
You were electric against Kirill Gorobet, some of your best work. I saw an interview with you. Were you disappointed with yourself because of the last fight? Preparation wasn't quite right?
Yeah, I don't want to dwell on that. That loss, obviously, it was devastating for myself and my career. But that's on me. That's the laziness of that I got into and the comfortable zone that I fell into, and not taking anything away from my last opponent. He done well. He came in like a professional, made the weight, performed well, and got the victory. And you know he's obviously a top contender now, riding off my back. So good for him. I'm happy for him, but I'm sure we'll meet again in the future.
Having already tasted gold, or double gold, if you like, what's the mindset in going after another world title? How motivating is it to get back to being the world champ?
That there will obviously is the motivation, but for me to be able to compete at the highest level with the elite, that's what I'm grateful about. The accolades that come with it, obviously that shows through the hard work that I put in while trying to stay at the top. But yeah, me being able to perform at this level and eventually, God willing, get a title shot again, then you know all the hard work and dedication that I put aside to be the very best has come to play.
With Shamil having buzz around him, undefeated, and that win in his last outing, like you say, if you beat him here and you get a good performance in, does that put you right back towards Saenchai?
I feel that I need to beat Shamil devastatingly to be able to be in title contention talks. If I don't do that, then I don't deserve to be in title contention talks. But for me, all or nothing, that means I have to beat this guy devastatingly, and that's knocking him out or finishing him, and by any way possible.
We've seen you get some pretty epic highlight reels. Is it the right hand that he needs to watch out for? Without giving anything away, I mean, is that what he's in for?
He's obviously in for a striking battle. He obviously knows about it. I'm sure he wants to try to grab my leg and wrestle me, and all I gotta do is just take his tools away. And I'm sure he'll put all his eggs in the basket when it comes to grappling with me because he's seen what his mentor has done in talks of Marat Gafarov. So I'm sure he'll be doing whatever it takes to try to take me down, dominate me on the ground, and try to submit me. But I think if that's the only thing he's coming in, like his only way of winning, then I think he's got a long night ahead of him.
Your Gafarov win was, one of the standout moments in ONE history. Do you ever go back and watch those moments to get inspired? And how huge is that for you, knowing that you got in you to kind of pull off these epic moments?
Yeah, I don't really need to go back and watch it. Everything is photographic memory in my head. Every single moment, every single adversity that I had to overcome. Everything is, it's all within, you know. So when I know I need to dig deep, I know it's there, and I know it's in like the back pocket. So I try to not let myself get to like worst case scenario situations. But if I ever get into like a trouble position or anything like that, I know in the back of my mind that I don't have a problem of getting out or not being submitted or getting taken down and then getting back up. So this is why we prepare for everything when it comes to a fight, you know. So yeah, I'm sure anything that Shamil produces on fight night, I'll obviously be ready for.
I mean, going back through your record, full of devastating finishes, you must get asked a lot over the years, but it probably changes. Which one is the sweetest for you? I mean, you've got wins over Christian Lee, one of the best lightweights in the world now.
I think the most satisfying victory I had was probably against either Gafarov or Jadamba.
Jadamba, just the manner of it and how cool it was? Or
Yeah, I mean, obviously I got the highlight reel knockout, and by all means, that it's one of my standout knockouts and standout highlight reels. But no, Jadamba being a um, former title holder, had been taking out everyone for years upon years, kickboxing, boxing, or MMA, and just a standout name in general throughout Asia martial arts. I feel that, I mean, if you mention his name to anyone, everyone would know who Jadamba is and what he produces, the power that he produces, the skill set that he produces. So for me to be able to kind of pinpoint that type of finish on such an experienced guy was, you know, the icing on the cake. And obviously the fight against Gafarov, you know, being a 10-1 underdog coming off that last loss to him, I went on like a 5-6 winning streak, did whatever it took to get that rematch in, made sure that it didn't go into the judges' hands come victory time. So I did whatever it takes to take all his eggs out of his basket until he had nothing left and he was gassed by round 2. And, you know, just I hit hard, man. All I gotta do is touch these guys, and they'll know about my power.
I remember talk of a grappling match with Christian Lee. I think it was around the 1X time. With grappling being so huge now globally and in one, is that something that you're still keen on, maybe with Christian or with someone else?
For now, I just need to get this win. When I get this win, then we'll start talking about other ventures. But for now, this win is the most important thing to me.
And lightweight, is that in the future? Another dabble?
You know, right now I'm walking around like a lightweight, so I'm a bit heavy at the moment. But look, in terms of that division, it's not my division. I'm too short for that division. Yeah, I pack the power, and the power compensates for that division, but I don't like giving my opponents size and strength advantage when it comes to walking around 7 kilos heavier.
How intriguing is the main event for you? We've got John Lineker, Fabricio Andrade. How close an eye are you keeping on that? Not that you might dabble in bantamweight again, but it was your former division at one point.
Yeah, it was, and you know, I still be in the future, but we don't know yet. So, yeah, those guys are just Fabricio is just on another level at the moment. I think mentally after that no contest in the last bout, he knows that he's somewhat the champion. But I feel that Lineker will come in for a different game plan. But insane, that different game plan, whatever. I don't think that he'll give Fabricio a problem at all. But I mean, for Lineker to pull out the victory, he has to really, really dig deep.
Is it going to go the same way again? I mean, not the same ending, but way.
Yeah, probably not the same ending. My man stepped it up with a steel cup. So I don't know. I had this talk with Unger as well on how he thinks the fight might go, and he thinks that John Lineker will probably come in much more prepared. Not that he wasn't the first time, but prepared different, in opposed to how to deal with longer, craftier, faster opponent, as in Fabricio. So.
Interesting that you mentioned maybe in the future on bantamweight. If there's two guys who can crack in this promotion more than anybody, it's you and John Lineker, right? Mr. Hands of Stone himself. Does the competitor in you not fancy that one in a way?
For the fans, yeah. But We don't know, man. Right now, I'm walking around like a lightweight. So with the right nutritionist, I might go back to my old nutritionist who got me down there with no problems. I might go back to her and dabble the waters. But man, I'm getting older, man. It's getting harder to cut weight. So I got to do the right things the right way and see how my body feels when thinking about going down that route.
It was really cool to hear you reminisce about that Gafarov fight and how you tired him out. He used all his weapons. Is this going to go a similar way, do you think?
Probably, most probably. Take his tools away from him. See what he's got. He's obviously younger. He's obviously going to be more fitter than what Gafarov was. Not to say that Gafarov wasn't, but I think Gafarov came in thinking that it was going to be another walk in the park, and I feel that Shamil will probably be thinking the same as well. And so if they're thinking that, it's going to be a long night for them.
Finally, then, what are your overall thoughts on the state of the division? Is it nice to have this fresh blood with Ilya and Shamil in there? Gary's still in the mix. Tan Lee's still in the mix, was proved fallible finally by Saenchai. And then Saenchai, this young, hungry, hard-hitting champion. It's all set up pretty nicely. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's for the champion, it doesn't look good because who's his next contender, right? If it was meant to be me. If I had won my last bout. Obviously, I haven't now. Now, I think Ilya's calling out Tan. Tan wants the rematch. Gary wants the title shot against Saenchai. Gary's just won his last bout against a non-contender. So this division's all over the place when it comes to title challenges for the belt. So for the champion, it doesn't really look as busy. But for the contenders, I mean, we're all fighting for that number one spot, and Tan Lee's got it at the moment. So, regardless to say, I think depending on not really depending on where we are, I reckon whoever finishes fights more devastatingly, and that's what's going to sell a fight for the title contention.
Well, it's all up for grabs. If anyone can do it, you can, mate.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
I feel like it's all up for grabs. It doesn't really matter about the rankings. I feel that if I finish Shamil Gasanov off devastatingly, then I'll get a shot. If I don't, if he finishes me off devastatingly, then he'll probably get a shot. I know Ilya wants a shot, but Ilya wants to fight Tan Lee. Tan Lee wants a rematch. Tan Lee will probably come back and fight Ilya. Who knows? And Gary's just got to wait. Probably he'll get the winner of me and Shamil. We don't know yet, so we'll see what happens.
Like a violent soap opera. Very intriguing.
It is, right? We no matter what, everyone's got their kind of next opponent set, judging that they win the next fight, obviously.
Look forward to seeing how it all pans out. Nice one, Martin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew.